Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to another video? This is the paid request, this time for Fan of Eli. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Fan of Eli wanted me to talk about Knox Goes Away, a 2024 film that stars Michael Keaton, and he directed the film. You also have Al Pacino, James Marsden, Marsha Gay Harden, which I know she's been in a few stuff. I think she was in Flubber, Robin Williams, I believe, among other stuff. And the premise is an interesting one. It's Michael Keaton as a contract killer, a hitman, but he finds out he has a bit of dementia. And he only has a few weeks left, and he's trying to get his personal affairs in order. And we see that he starts being more forgetful. At one point, goes to the wrong car. He has a partner, and his partner's wondering what's he doing. They go to do a job, and you can tell that his mind's going. He's having these flashes. So the two people are killed. Then he turns and accidentally kills his partner. And like, he was supposed to just kill one person, but he accidentally killed another person in there who was more of an innocent. And then he turns and accidentally kills his partner, and he's losing it. It'd just be much more forgettable, much more dementia filled. He sets up the scene so that it seemed like they killed each other, and he's trying to figure out what to do next. And then one that leads to another, and his son, James Marsden, who's in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, among others, Cyclops in the original X-Men films. He comes in covered in blood and says, hey, I killed the guy who did stuff to my daughter because that guy was 13 years old and my daughter was 16 and made her get pregnant. I killed the guy. I don't know what to do. Michael Keaton goes, okay, we haven't seen each other for a while. Its father is estranged from his son because of his work. He'll try to figure out how to clean this whole thing up. Calls his boss, who's also his friend, played by Al Pacino, to try to keep him on the path of this whole plan that he's going to showcase. And you find out at the end what the whole plan is. This is one of those films that at the end of the day I thought was just okay, because the big plus is Michael Keaton. Acting wise, getting the star in the film, get to play a bit of a dementia patient. There's some moments where you see like his eyes a bit losing it, being more unfocused. And he showcases himself some decent lines, like before they go in on the hit, his partner asks, how come you never want to know who it is? Why don't you care who it is? And Keaton goes, because in 10 minutes, he'll be nobody. And you see that he's getting more confused, he's getting a bit more scared. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my god, it's an Oscar caliber performance. It's not, no. It's much more subdued. But I thought Keaton still did a rather solid job. It's definitely more of a low-key, slow burn film. So I wouldn't say it's a film that's that memorable. I guess this went in the theaters. It doesn't seem like a movie that would go in theaters. It seemed like a film you would just catch on streaming services. But like I said, if there's any reason to watch the film, is because of Michael Keaton and his performance. Al Pacino, is great to see him in there. He's not given a whole lot to do. But granted, the guy's like 84 years old. So it's still nice to see a few scenes of him playing off Keaton. And him being a little bit playful. Like, there's a bit where he's in a tub and he's with his like new wife, girlfriend, whatever, and Michael Keaton calls him, make sure, hey, am I still on the path? Yeah, sure, you're still doing it. Oh, say hi to Becky for me. Who's Becky? Huh? Who? Yeah, okay. Yeah, this guy just thought you were Becky. Who's that? My first wife from a long time ago. And he's losing it, isn't he? Or he's not doing too great, is he? Nah, he isn't. So he did low key, but it's still nice to see. I love Al Pacino, so it's still nice to see him in there, regardless. Again, 84 years old. For what I think that was his age that last looked up. Still nice to see him still kicking in there working. James Marsden does fine. Granted, I'm not a fan of him personally. I also find it really, really ironic he's playing a character who kills the guy who dealt with his underage daughter. Because I'm like, okay, you played a character who would kill that kind of person, but then in real life you sent letters supporting that kind of person, called Brian Peck, if you ever see Quiet on Set. I just thought that was kind of ironic. That's just me, though. But yeah, I thought that was very ironic. But again, that's just me. And it's him kind of going through how he set these things up, which I'll get to in more of the spoilers. Like I said, it's more of a drama. It's not an action film. The only little bit of action is there's a point very, very late in the movie where he goes in and there's three burglars and he takes care of them. It's about, I don't know, a minute. No, not even that. 30, 40 seconds, if that. So I mean, I wouldn't really call it a mystery or anything. This is just more of a drama of just how this guy, as he's losing his mind, will he have this plan come to fruition. But I guess it's just one of those things where it wasn't always that exciting. Sometimes a bit slow and slog to get through. And I think it could have used a few more drafts on the script to make it either tighter or make some parts a bit more exciting. Maybe give a little bit more emotional scenes for Michael Keaton to play off. Like have him get more and more emotional as time goes on, where he's losing more of it, and so he has maybe some emotional outbursts because of that. That would have been nice to see. Give him a bit more to, like, come on, Keaton, we know you could do more. Give yourself a little bit more to play with. And not all the characters were that interesting. There's this girlfriend that Keaton has who is an immigrant. I don't remember where she was from, but they have conversation from time to time about books. I didn't really care about her character. I thought she was a very boring and dull character. Also, there's this female police officer that's on the case because they find the crime scene of those bodies earlier of Michael Keaton's partner and the other two in the shower. And then there's another crime scene with James Marsden's the guy he killed. And I didn't really care about her either. I thought she was also very dull. She didn't really have much personality. I kind of wish we could have had less of those two characters and more of Pacino. Or even Marsha Gay Harden, who plays Keaton's ex-wife. I thought she was not in the film nearly enough. Because I thought their scene was one of the best scenes in the movie, where he goes in and he doesn't want to tell her about what's going on in his head. She's like, oh, he's hinting at he's going to be away for a long time. and it'll be for good. And you tell that she's mad at him, but at the same time, she still misses him. She even says, "Oh, you must be slipping." "Yeah, you just say that. You know, I still love you, even though just a little bit." And Keaton's like, "Well, that's good." And like hesitates, but then he like kisses her on the head and he leaves. I thought that was a nice, sweet bit of business. I thought Keaton and Marshall D. Harden played off each other fairly well. And I would like to have seen a couple more scenes of that. That would have been nice. But to get more into spoilers, like I said, you have the whole beginning I mentioned where he accidentally kills his partner. His son, James Marsden, shows up, calls Al Pacino, or goes to meet him to get a bit of help. At one point, Michael Keaton is interrogated, sees his ex-wife. What you gather is that he has taken his son, James Marsden's clothes, the knife, all that stuff. Then he does things to make it seem like he's going to set up his son. So he uses the fingerprints and he uses tape to try to copy the fingerprints, all this other stuff. Then he sets up the crime scene but does it very sloppy on purpose. So the cops at first think it's James Marsden, and then the doctor, the tech guys look at it and go, "Well, wait a minute. Well, that has this material in it. That has this material in it. This looks like it was staged." Also, when James Marsden's in prison, Michael Keaton goes up and acts, "You set me up." "What? What are you talking about?" "Yeah, when I went to jail at one time for taxes and stuff, you set me up." "Well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?" So now that's set up for later, where near the end, James Mars is brought in with the cops, and he's like, "Yeah, my dad, he's a piece of crap." And then she goes, "Yeah, he must be, especially to set up his own son." And you see kind of the confusion, James Marsden. "I don't get what you mean." And then she details all this. And if I'm being fair, James Marsden, I thought, did a good job here where, without speaking, you see from his eyes, his reaction of, he was a bit stern about his dad, but he's realizing, oh my God, his dad made himself the patsy for what James Marsden did. And then when the cop asks, like, why would he do that? James Marsden remembers what his dad said. And he's like, "That's why he said it. That's why he told me about the tax thing." So he just reiterates what Michael Keaton told him. Like, Keaton just told him the story to tell the cops. "Yeah, I set him up. I did this, I did that." And then when they look at Michael Keaton and his medical history, they go, "Oh, he's having dementia. He's been having it for this time. He's not going to remember half the stuff he did." He made himself the perfect patsy and made it look like he framed Marsden to save him. And I thought, okay, that was kind of an interesting take on it. I know people nitpick and well, I couldn't call it nitpick. The plan didn't bother me. I know the plan bothers some people. It didn't bother me. Cops at times are inept. They don't always dot the I's and cross the T's. And then we have a figure like Michael Keaton's character of dementia, and a guy that's like doing the best he can. Sometimes I thought later on in the film they could have played even more with the dementia. It's just like at one point he's confused, he's lost in the woods, and Pacino helps him get home. Maybe like a bit more suspense of a ticking clock. Because I didn't really feel that. I didn't really feel the suspense of this ticking clock where you see you just lose it more and more and more. And I did maybe that'd be more of a Hollywood thing, and that's not how dementia really works. But I just something to really your get the suspense really growing. I don't think it really accomplishes that. I did like James Marsden being tearful, having a call, and by this point, Michael Keaton's character is so far gone, and Marsden, appreciates what his dad did for him, says, "I love you." I didn't. However I feel about James Marsden as a person, I thought he did a good job acting-wise in that scene. And you see Michael Keaton kind of out of it. Yeah. And then after he's gone, Michael Keaton kind of puts his hand on the glass, like he remembered something. And Pacino's doing fine, and oh yeah, the burglars before he went to jail, before all that stuff. There's this part where the immigrant lady girlfriend realizes that the guy's losing it, so she gets a couple guys to steal some diamonds that he has. He kills all three of them. You think he's going to kill the girl, but then you find out he didn't. Instead, he let her go and then sent her books as he's going to be going away. Granted, it felt like it was put in there to be like, we gotta have some kind of action. This guy is a hitman. Like, other than the little bit of the beginning where he accidentally kills his partner, we gotta have some kind of action, and that'll help in the trailer. But you could have completely taken it out. It really would not have accomplished anything. Like, it wouldn't have changed anything. And like, it goes by so quick, I can't say anything to marvel at the scene. Because again, it's like, I don't know, 30 seconds long, if that, 40 seconds. See, it's one of those movies that I have a lukewarm response to. I thought it was okay in terms of, it was great to see Michael Keaton as the lead play a different type of role he had not really played before. Great to see people like Al Pacino in there. The plot was interesting enough for me to wonder what Keaton's character was doing. And when it's like, oh, okay. I didn't mind the result. But like I said, it's not a lot of excitement. It's not a lot of thrills. It's not a lot of suspense. I think the dementia could have been even more of a ticking clock to really ratchet up the suspense. I would rather see more of the ex-wife and less of the immigrant girlfriend. Or just take her out completely. Have his partner not killed but wounded. And then the guy wants to get revenge, and then there's revenge for shooting me. I don't even remember doing it. You could do that where he doesn't know if his partner's dead, if his partner died, what happened to his partner. Maybe he thinks someone else shot him. He doesn't realize that he did it. And that comes into play later. So yeah, it's one of those films that I don't know, maybe it needed a few drafts of the script. Michael Keaton as the director, there's not much directing wise that I was impressed by. Acting wise, nice bit of business, but like I said, at the end of the day, I didn't hate the film. I thought it was okay. But is this a film I'm going to remember much in the future? About as much as Keaton's character remembers. So not really. It's okay. It's an alright film. I mean, if I'm trying to be a bit harsher, I would give it like maybe 2.5 out of 5 stars. But maybe 3 out of 5. I don't know. I have to think about it, so. For diehard Michael Keaton fans, I would say, is the reason to see this. So. Like I said, it was okay. Like I said, much more of a low key, much more of a slow burn type of thing. But again, nothing that I would ever check out again. with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.